Broadcasting.
Okay. All right. So, hi everybody. This is Tran from Circle of Gatekeepers, and I have with me Matt from Matt and Enrico channeling on YouTube, and also artofpeace.info on online. So,
Hello.
why don't you say a few words to our viewers?
It's
Introduce
a
yourself.
wonderful evening. For you, it's a wonderful morning. And for others, who knows? So,
Yeah, every time in between, I guess. So, Matt is a channeler from Latvia. Uh, He holds seminars and training on channeling and meditation. Last summer, he held a retreat where you actually built the dome house yourself with a bit of help.
yes, Dome House and other few things, but the Dome House is maybe most like visibly attractive to than other things in
Yeah,
the retreat.
yeah. I watched the YouTube channel where you were using a table saw. It wasn't even in English, but didn't really need English for that, just to watch the table saw action.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Dome House is quite a meditative place, and what I wanted to build the Dome House was because the it's a complete like a complete sphere around you, and it really the sound comes back reflective, and also it's really peaceful inside there. So this is a meditative place, and also for a musical instrument. We have a small musical concert every year there, and it's really sound quality is much interesting and much better.
Oh, okay. So the sound quality is great. So you were doing some toning there?
Yeah, for example, you do like a om, and then the sound comes back to you when you resonate much stronger. And this is a really interesting experience. Also, there is a huge dome house in Lithuania. It's like 400 kilometers away from where I live. We went somewhere there also, and it's also a really meditative experience.
Mm, okay. That's interesting. So why don't you tell us about the beings that you channel?
Which one of those?
Enrico first.
uh, mm, Yeah, the thing is, mainly what I ask the people, what do you want to know about it? And the thing is, why I like this interview, which you consider to create, is that many people here in Latvia, like already know Enrico, like already know what am I talking about or something. But we have talked about this in Latvia many times, but I would say not so many in English. So I'm really interested about this interview. And there's a lot of things I can tell about him, but from which perspective do you want me to start?
How does it feel to channel him? What emotions do you feel?
Basically, at first time when you start channeling uh, him, is basically you receive out of nowhere laughter. It's like the thing is, I can talk it in detail how I talk with others who also channel right now in Latvia, or I can talk it like for others maybe to simply understand. What do you think? How should I channel this stuff?
For others to simply understand.
Okay, so when the energy comes, I see it as a yellow energy, yellow golden sparking energy, and it instantly I feel as out of nowhere I want to start to laugh, but it's not like laugh about something; it's about nothing. It's like just a wave of laughter, wave of excitement or something is coming really intensely. And sometimes at the first moments when we do start channeling, it's like when we enter the channeling state, it's like people would see me just laugh. People would just see me laugh or smiling or just say, "Oh, this is so interesting. This is so interesting." And
Yeah,
this,
I watched that quite a bit. It's a really interesting chuckle. It's this chuckle that Enrico has.
yeah. That's the common thing about Enrico. They live in a yellow, golden, and sometimes white energy world. And for them, we were talking about the comparison, the differences between me, not like me, our world and his world. And it's like the more you talk about it, the more interesting it is. The more interesting it becomes. At first, when we started to channel him, I was like, man, this is such a strange being, or this is such a strange place. The beings living there are so strange. They're always and highly excited about everything. Highly, it's like, for
Like
example,
children.
yeah, like children, but more accelerated, I would say. Like, imagine yourself driving around the car, and if you're like driving for 30 seconds straight, you will get highly bored. This is so boring. You want to find something more and more interesting. And the thing is, they find interesting things even. Uh, if, one time I asked them, "What will you do if you come to forest in our world?" They said they will just run around like crazy, but not like told me, but showed me. And then they will look at every centimeter of the ground on the sky and just will have the huge feeling of excitement. How and such an interesting place. How the birds fly, how the trees are moving, how the grass is growing, how the grass is moving, and even there are tiny, tiny creatures like a worm, like something insects flying around. Like how interesting, but it's like screaming and shouting and exciting, and but in time they jump to a new interesting thing, jump to a new interesting thing.
This
Um,
golden light world that they live in, do they have physical bodies there, or are they more
uh,
like non-physical
I would
spirits?
say comparing to us, you can see them as a form, you can see them as a body, but they're not physical. They can merge, like body comes and they merge as a one body, for example, and like a ball of light. They can merge together and they can detach and they can turn into light, shine and disappear and come back.
Mm.
And also the one time I think it was one of this year's channeling experiences. One of the audience asked. How did you started your morning? What was your morning like? And they're like, "Whoa, what a question! We don't understand this question. We don't have a morning like you have." And then we're, oh, this is so interesting to have a morning. And they all of a sudden
They don't
imagine,
sleep?
no, they don't have this time frame that we have. And the
Okay.
story was that they were telling lately, he was telling lately, was like how interesting we can create an experience of a morning, and all of a sudden everything changes in that place where he is, and he's like pretending he's waking up like a human in a bed, and there's alarm clock, and he's like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so whatever, and he just comes out of the bed, falls down on the ground, and he just creating the experience out of nowhere as if it's a morning for him. It's like there's no we have morning, then the daytime, then the afternoon, then the evening. They have no this connection between times. Like it's something you imagine, something you change in your energy, something you change in your not like
Oh, I
something.
see. So they
Yeah,
have a
and everything
completely
changes.
different experience of time.
Yeah, they can. When he comes alone, he comes with this energy world, this yellow golden energy world around him. And
Mm.
whatever he imagines there, for example, a chair just out of this golden light, just and the chair is there, and he sits on the chair. He's thinking, "Man, such an interesting chair." And then when he stops thinking about it or stop focusing on it or just moves that chair away, it's empty again. And it's like that's why he's many times talking about energies. He's talking about energies, excitement, laughter, not like laughter, excitement, and well, many times about tuning into an energy. Like many people are sad, depressed, and he's like, "Man, why do you choose to be sad and depressed? Because you can choose your experience to be any other way than this." And he talks about many times also about mind.
Hmm. So
Uh,
how did he choose you?
as I understand, we are in s- uh, we have a one soul. Uh, like, or in simple words, maybe a one higher self. Uh, in other simple words, he is one of my incarnations. One of my. What I understood from him is that his world is my previous incarnation. His world there. But when I got to understand the picture in overall, or from the channeling experiences that I had, I received more knowledge than we have a soul, which is like there's a higher self, and then there is the soul, which is like a big fog, and the soul has many aspects, many of you, your previous lives, your next lives, your future lives, your whatever, and other dimensions, and he is one of those. And there is this
Mm-hmm.
huge energy fog that me and him are on the same energy fog, like the same soul, and that's why it's really easy to communicate with him, and
Okay.
he helps me to communicate with other beings also. But how we met was that. Well, my history of channeling starts like many years ago, and the channeling happened due to intense meditations. I was like all alone meditating, and then I started to become more aware of that information is coming, more aware of intuition, more aware of I receive answers on many questions. And then in one meditation, there was like I received a huge connection with. I have never yet channeled that being ever again, but he gave me so much information, so much knowledge about channeling, how is channeling done, how you should do channeling, like a complete basic base before I started channeling. And I received huge understanding instantly about that. And then I was like, okay, maybe this was my imagination. So I want to and there my close relatives that have died come to me also, and I said, okay, I want to channel somebody which is not my imagination and to answer me things that I don't know. And then this Enrico came, and all I was doing that evening and that day was just nonstop laughter, nonstop laughing, because like jokes and the energies and the experiences and his imagination and everything was really funny. sometimes
Mm,
even
okay.
sometimes even at night, I choose to like, okay, I want to ask you something, and just out of nowhere start laughing. It's really interesting.
So, another background question. You mentioned that you began this whole journey from doing intense meditation. What led you to do so much intense meditation?
Actually, I don't know. I have talked about this. What was first? Uh, I only forgot what the first was. What was first, the meditation or my interest into meditation? Uh, I don't know, but uh, what interested me most in meditation was that I didn't know about anything about meditation, nothing completely, and I never even actually I don't think even I have heard this word before or understood what does it mean to meditate. But I was starting to like receive like at night you're dreaming something, then all of a sudden you're in a different room, and you hear what people are talking, and you see what people are doing, and then you when you woke up, you are thinking, was this real or was this imagination or something? But it felt so real, and then I was like.
Sounds like a lucid dream.
Yeah, it's something like an out of body lucid dream experience. And then I was like, man, what was this? And then I met these people, which I saw in my dreams in the lucid or out of body experience. And I asked them, did you met these people or did you talk about this? They said, yes. Who do you know? I said, I don't know. I just saw it in dreams. And they were like, okay. And I was like, hey, there's something more than the physical self. There's something a lot more. And I was like, okay. And at one point I was scared, and the other point I was, man, this is something really, really strange, but I want to explore this. And then there was some friend or girl which I started to share these experiences, and she said that yeah, she does the same. All the thing you need to do is just stop thinking, and I was like, stop thinking. I was like, whoa, such a good idea. And then I started to practice stop thinking, and then I managed to do this like out of my choice, you would say, like consciously.
Intentionally, yeah.
Yeah. And then I understood that this is possible, and I was like, man, what more is possible? And I stopped doing this, but then I started to meditate, and I started to receive like blissful feelings, loving feelings, joyful feelings in meditation. Like really, really, I really love these feelings. It was really, I felt like something like in heaven or something like this in those meditations. And and then I stopped meditating, and then for 3 or 4 years I came back to meditation, and then the channeling started. But it's a really long story how it all began. I just want to keep it really simple. So this is the
Mm,
yeah how the meditation, because there was lots and lots of experiences in these steps.
okay. Yeah, in the Western world, usually people come to do meditation because of the majority of people come to meditation because they have had some kind of problem in their life, or they've been introduced to meditation from their parents. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the majority of people don't naturally fall into meditation or at least a spiritual path. So that was why I was interested.
Um,
Okay, so
yeah.
did you have something else to add?
None of my family members meditated. None of my family members talked about this. So I was like a surprise. What is he doing there? What?
Yeah, it would seem pretty weird. So how do they feel about what you do now?
My father likes this stuff. Uh, Actually, my father watches channeling. When I started to do channeling, he started to watch other channelers. He started to become more interested into this field. But also, my father, he like this summer, he took a rafting boat and sailed over the Atlantic Ocean. With a rafting boat. With
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he just took this boat and went over the Atlantic Ocean in 5 months, 5 months of time, and he went to Brazil. So he said there will be a member from Brazil talking, and I want to ask him, do you know these Latvian people, two people that rafted all the way from Africa to Brazil? Do you know them?
That would be a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say about the father is that he's like when he came back from the ocean, he's like in a deep peace and a meditative state. So these things are like common for him. There's not like something crazy weird stuff going on. But at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, the complete beginning, when I started to do meditation, he was like, "Oh, and what you do and what you experience." He was like, "Man, this is something new, something it's like weird, but really interesting, really interesting."
Okay. So then that leads to my next question. How has your channeling been accepted in Latvia?
uh, at the beginning, I was like accepted this as a huge gift. And maybe not like a huge gift, but from like this is some kind of ability that others or really rare people have. And I was like really, I was really excited about this. And even then, I had my website where I posted my experiences on the website. So there was like some people checking out the website, some people following the website. And then when I started to do these channeling videos, sessions where I posted online, I think many people did not quite understand what's going on there. But I have never actually had huge negative comments or negative comments. I have never had them in Latvia. Some of them were like, "What is he doing?" or stuff like this on the website and on the YouTube. And then there was like there's a group where people invite like guests and they ask them many questions. And one of the groups in Latvia, they asked me, "Can you come and you talk about channeling?" I said, "Okay." And then I come to this group and there is full room with people. I don't know, maybe 50 people. But for that room, it was completely full. And I was like, oh, "What are you doing here?" And they said, we come to listen to channeling." I said, "Where are you from? Are you from the website or somebody invited you?" And they said, "We are all from your website." I was like, "Man, so many people." I was like, and you know about the channeling?" And everybody said yes. I was like, "Oh, okay, so you are here to listen to channeling?" They said yes. I was like, "Man, this was a surprise." I thought maybe 5 people, maybe 10 people are listening to this, but then it was a full room of people. I was like, "Okay." And then I started to do these channeling seminars, and there are people who like this
How long
information.
ago was that? Like that first time when you went into that room with about 50 people?
Yeah, I believe it's from now. It's maybe 3 years exactly, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, so we talk about channeling, and we did channeling also then, and yeah, it was like quite normal, but. I still, from memory channeling, I still learn more about the Enrico because I don't channel like every day at home. Maybe I channeled last time like a month ago, and at the beginning it was people thought that a being that comes from a higher density should always answer every question that a human asks. He's all knowledgeable, all knowing. But Enrico is completely opposite. He's like, "Whoa, why do you have such intention? Or why do we need to tell you something? And why do you have anger?" And he's like questioning it, and the people questioning, and they don't understand what is he talking about. Tell me, what should I eat tomorrow? And he started to talk about the uh, well, depending on the person. Some person he loves to talk with, and some person he's like, "You're too angry, you're too intense or something." And at the beginning it was really interesting. The first video was really interesting to remember for me at the first channeling sessions. But
Hmm.
he loves to talk about becoming more aware of the self, self-awareness, finding your true self. Uh, because what he is constantly telling you to people are that everything that you see, everything that you experience is a self reflection to you. And if you find something wrong in this world, whatever we see, in the self reflection, for example, you feel sad, somebody feels angry, somebody feels stressed, that this is only energy within you, that the world or the reality around you reflects to you, that you become aware of this energy so you can release this energy which is out of balance or blocking your true or higher self or true natural self or true self. It depends on how you translate these words into English from my word, but it's true self. Yeah, it's true self, the true
Yeah, I
you.
love that message.
Yeah, and when you become more aware of your true self, you start to shine more. You start to feel that more love around. You start to feel more peace, more joy, more heart. You start to feel more of your true self, which is the highest energy, and more uh, highest energy to you. For example, many people we're not the same. Many people find uh, their how you say comfort of living, of being in close with friends, some close with intellectual stuff that they can do something intellectually. Some find themselves really comfortable, happy when they meditate. Some find themselves really happy when they are alone in the nature or something. And this true self is the absolute highest of your happiness, highest uh, of your feelings, sensations for you. So defining the true self will enlighten you, will give you you will never feel like something's wrong in this world. You always feel that this world is so beautiful, so beautiful. But it really depends on what is your true self. Whether it's an intellectual being, the higher self intellectually expresses itself, whether it's lovingly expresses itself, whether it's uh, there's a unique. Everybody is completely unique, and therefore there is not none one path for you or for other to go. There is only the direction that you feel to go, and this is the guidance you have to like come more and more closer to your true self. I'm really sorry that if some words I tell that maybe are not quite understandable because these messages are mainly given in Latvian. I
Well,
always,
that's okay.
I
You know,
always want
there
to
is
do,
one. Go ahead.
yeah, I always want to do channeling for English in English, but there are like we have tried this sometimes, and the Enrico comes and like, and there is my father or somebody else trying to speak English, and he's not fluent or he's not good at it, and then they say, "Why do you create everything so difficult? You can just talk Latin," and you just start talking Latin.
Well, you know, the last video that I watched where you were speaking in English, I was really surprised at how fast he was speaking.
Hmm.
He really spoke very fast,
Very, very
um,
good. And this
faster
is the
than your
problem.
natural speech, you know, as if he's trying to get the message out as quick as he can.
Uh, it's not like as quick as it can as he can, but the information is coming really fast. And when you allow the energy to come that fast, it just speaks so fast, really
Mm.
fast. Another thing is that I speak with such things like I sometimes think over and then I tell again something like slowly and this.
Yeah, you have a mind filter.
Yeah, like I have a speech filter, a voice, something different. But he speaks so fast and without all of those no, and like and what I normally say, and he doesn't use any of these. I don't know how you call it in English. These mm,
Umming and ahhing.
yeah, and
Yeah, those ones.
this is really I cannot speak that way. I cannot imagine myself to speak that way. It's like the mind starts operating the brain starts operating in different levels. One time I wanted to like we created this movie Art of Peace, Spirit Channelers in Latvia, I believe it's called, and we were I was editing the video. We interviewed four channelers that came after me, would say, that also were interested in this net teach them to channel also. And I try to edit. When a person speaks like me and those three people, you can easily edit the video. You can cut out the words or the ideas that they repeat. But when I try to edit, like make the text shorter of the Enrico what he was speaking, it's like you cannot edit a single word because every sentence is a preparation for the next sentence, and the next sentence is
Mm,
a
yes.
preparation for the next idea. And if you take out this idea, it will be harder to understand the next idea. And like, I cannot edit it. All I can do is to change the question.
Uh-oh.
One of the surprising things, or for me, most interesting things.
Okay. Um, so I wanted to ask you, do you do these seminars and this channeling and spiritual work? Is it full time for you, or do you also work part time in something?
Um, I would say the channeling is and doing and teaching meditations and channeling to other is really tiring. So I don't try to do more than two uh, seminars a week. So I
Hmm.
have 5 days free, but at those 5 days I do other stuff also. So um, I'm doing this and that, and that's why I don't have like I believe many people who are dedicated only to do channeling, they have their free time. They like plan to do something better, plan to do or attract new audience, plan to do or figure out new interesting topics to channel, or interesting beings, or do meditation to become better at channeling or something. I'm like, okay, I did the seminar, I'm off, and I'm off doing some of my stuff, which I like programming or December it's mainly printing. That is charity cards, printing Christmas charity cards. I've been doing a project since maybe 12 years ago about the charity organization, and yeah, and so it's the channeling and stuff. It's like I would say half time that I
Okay.
do.
Okay. So this leads what you've mentioned about the charity work and doing this other work is does that contribute to why you drive so much? Because the viewers on your website, your YouTube page, will notice that most of your material is happening in your car and often at nighttime, you know. So I always find it really interesting when you are driving during the day because then I can look out the window and see
Yeah.
I'm guessing, the Latvian landscape going past.
Yeah, but it's because Latvia at winters has really less daylight, really
Hmm.
less. And mainly when I start going outside of home or start going somewhere or to a seminar or from a seminar, it's mainly night. It's dark, and the videos which are in light, in bright sunny days, that you can consider them to be in summertime. But it's not like I'm driving all the time somewhere. It's because I don't.
It kind of just seems that way.
Yeah, well, I do drive to other cities to do seminars, but it's because when I'm driving, there's nothing else I can do, and when I'm home, I have other things to do. So when I drive, I just drive and talk. The memory that I had about the channeling or the information that I had when I did this channeling and stuff, and then I just talk over the information. And when I got home, I have other things to do. So, and also when I'm home, I need to upload these videos to YouTube also. So it's driving is the only free time that I have.
Do you find that when you're driving, you're in a more receptive state?
Yeah, and
Does
in
it
driving,
improve does it improve the receptivity or does
I
it
would
improve your
say,
intuition?
yeah, I would say when I'm driving, I get completely relaxed. Sometimes I don't even notice that 100 kilometers already, and I'm here. But who did the driving? I don't know. I don't remember. Sometimes I even try to drive with my eyes closed, and I have tried this a few times, or turn off the lights at night the car, and you feel that the body language is really strong. That the body knows how to drive, although you don't see anything, or you just feel maybe what's closer to you, but the body knows how to drive. And talking about driving, one time was really interesting that I was driving in the night, and there's a really tight corner, and there was a huge truck coming on the opposite line. The one line goes there, and one comes
Hmm.
really. I'm going maybe 100 kilometers an hour, and the truck is going my direction from a tight corner. And all of a sudden, I just start driving on the grass. Car is fully on the grass, and then there was a huge jeep or I don't know sports car, maybe 100 or 200 kilometers an hour, really fast, and just
Wow.
went between us, and I was like, "Whoo, what was that?" And that was really interesting. I was like, driving all of a sudden you drive on the grass, but it's like normally sometimes I do that because it's getting sometimes it get boring. But at that point it was like I didn't move my hands; it was instantly on the grass. And my cousin's sister was next to me in the car, and she was like sneezing, snoring, and she didn't notice anything. But after then, I was thinking, man, what was that? I was really afraid because if I would not do it, the car would just crash in my face.
That
Yeah,
is really amazing.
yeah. So, uh,
Yeah, just a disclaimer to anybody watching this, we don't recommend unsafe driving.
uh, I don't know. I've drive. I feel really peaceful driving, but at night it's really difficult because you don't see anything and there's the cars opposite and the flag, the lights, and at night
Yeah.
it's tiring.
So I saw that you were also on Latvian television talking about channeling as well. Of course, I didn't understand any of it, but I did see that there was a video that you posted where you were being interviewed by somebody on, I think, Latvian television.
You mean the latest video?
It was a few months ago. I
Well,
think you were talking about the different laws of the universe.
yeah, I've been interviewed many times, but I don't remember being interviewed by Latvian television. Maybe it was something else. But yeah, there
Well,
are
I didn't
people.
understand the language, so I can't confirm it was Latvian, but you were definitely speaking fluently.
Oh yeah, so yeah, but I believe yeah, I talk about I can talk about many topics about the experiences, about the channeling. I can talk about many topics, and there are people that are interested and they ask these questions, and it's no problem.
So would you say that you're well known in Latvia as a channeler?
I would not say well known, but sometimes it gets interesting when you walk on the street or in the store. There are people that, hey, are you Matt? I said, yes. Oh, hi, I watch your videos. Enrico, right? I say, yes, yes. Ah, yeah. Nice, nice. And then they go away somewhere. And this has happened a few times, maybe 5 or 6 times.
Okay, cool. I think that counts as being famous.
I don't know. But this was one of the things that before when the channeling started, there were offers given to me, and not like offers like you should agree or something, but they were like the first thing which I disagreed was that there was a being that said we will give you names, addresses, phone numbers of people, and you call them and you give messages from their past relatives who have died, and so this is something like. There is a loving message for them. There is something that energies need to be released for them. Like they're still thinking of him, what happened to him, and so on. They need to like have these messages. And then I was like, maybe not now. I don't feel like going and talking to strangers about dead people. And the next thing was that also that you need to start doing this. You need to start doing this, the channeling. I said, no, 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 no. And then maybe after a month, you need to start doing this channel. They said, no, 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 no. And then you need to start doing this. And I said, why? I said, why? And they gave me a huge message. Why? Because here in Latvia, there are many people, many groups all over the cities, like small yoga groups, small people that do meditation. And they need to hear this experiences that you have had, like which I have gone through from my meditation experiences, channeling experiences. How do you and can you do it, and how can you learn this, and so on. And they need to hear this. And they said, "Okay, this sounds not only Latvian, but I believe other places like YouTube also." And then I was like, "Okay, I agree, but I will not do anything." And I want it to be highly and highly exciting, without any like you have this. Seriosity, but when being too serious, talk about too
Hmm.
serious, to be brief, simple, easy. My experience only. I never like tell anything additional to like. Yes, this is a really important message. You all have to hear it, and this is what they said. And there is some kind of a end of the world coming, or something. But may it be really exciting. And then I said, yes, but you have to keep in mind that you will be known. I said, how is this known? That you will, and that known means that what they said if is that when I go around or walk somewhere, people will just see me and remember me and know me from from the YouTube or the channel. Oh, he's that channel guy or something. And maybe 2 years passed, and everything what they said as like came true.
Mm-hmm.
Only, yeah, only I imagine to be. My mind imagined to be a little bit differently. But this is what I meant
Yes.
to say. You can, how I said, it's sometimes difficult to understand the message that the beings are giving, and you have to go and look at more detailedly than not just like a brief information. This is it, and then you imagine many things from your brain, your own information that they said something like this. It should be or it could go in this direction, but many times, what I said, you need to go back to the channeling state and ask that answer more detailed before you
Mm.
start accepting this information. Ask it more detailed because uh,
Okay.
many people understand information differently. Many people
Yes.
understand differently, and it could be misunderstood.
Okay. That's really interesting. And very true, I think. So I know that last summer you had a summer camp in the Dome House. Uh, is that house now a permanent fixture, or did you have to take it down for the winter?
In winter, we also have this summer camp.
Winter camp.
Yeah, I mean, as like the summer camp. In winter, we also have it. It's called winter camp, but in the summer, it's more. I would say more better because it's sunny, it's fresh air, it's birds and trees and wind. And in winter, we all are inside the house.
So is this located inside or near a forest, or is it in somebody's on somebody else's property, or where is it
No,
located?
the summer camp is in my countryside. It's mainly between inside the forest. There is a small grassland, plain, and winter it's we rent the place where we do the winter camp. Actually, winter camp is after a week, so I believe there will be in Latvian there will be channeling videos, and there's one video that I have not yet finished to translate, so I plan to do it shortly soon.
Oh, okay. So the summer and winter camps are not in the same location, but
No,
I'm interested in this the summer camp. You said that it's near the forest, but I don't understand the ownership of how you're
yeah,
allowed to build there. Is it
that's
that you're allowed to build anywhere?
no. I grew up in that place. It's my mother's countryside, and we do many things there. It's like I'm not the
Okay.
builder, but my mother is the owner.
All right. Okay. So as you know, I'm part of a little group called Circle of Gatekeepers, and we are very interested in information about portals. And so, since you have mentioned that this dome house for your summer camp is near a forest um, on your mother's property, uh, can you share your experiences of what you've seen with portals in Latvia?
The portal stuff I have not in my countryside, but something like a portal is like basically energy comes from a different place, maybe from another dimension, maybe from another place, like a physical place. Wait, somebody came. I don't know. And but the portals which I have only seen and felt, it depends on how you classify which one of those are portals. But from the terminology that we know or I know, but before with this video we talked about portals, that was not in my countryside. That was in a forest that's you're not allowed to go in there, and it's like a red zone. And But we went in there because there was a lady that said there is a meditative place, like hidden pyramids. And I said, okay, let's go there, let's see. And then we went in, or we would say illegally went in there. I found these places, and there was not like a portals. There were portals, but it was like a special place that maybe what I understood like 1,000 years ago there was a man living in the forest, but he was really spiritually developed through meditation, with meditation. And what he has made there a nature temple, you would say. And when I was there, I was really amazed because there was a place where you can take this earth energy. It was a small hill. You can take in this peace energy, as I call it, the earth energy. I call it the energy of peace, and it's something like a foggy energy. And then there is next where you can take this sparkling energy in your side, and this is something from the energy that comes from above, sparkling energy. And then there was another,
Sparkling energy.
yeah, and then but this is on the bottom of the mountain, but of the then there are a few levels until you reach the top of the hill, and there in another place there is a this is the third level. There is a specially made rocks that create these transcendental energy, I call it, or how I see it is basically an invisible energy field that creates this experience of time and space. Basically, when people come to this energy, they start feeling like a portal on their head to start open. I saw it. I said, "Well, this is the channeling rock. This energy field that is there. It opens your top head." And I was there with one lady who also channels, and we noticed this instantly. But others, there were a group that they are not aware of what is channeling or energies are. So, and then on the top level there is this how you call a place like heaven? How you call it in different English words? Do you have other words?
Higher realm,
Uh, but
ascended realm.
yeah, okay. So we in Latvian we have a really beautiful word that's called esi. It means place of beingness, that you are. And but it can be translated in different meanings. But there was this place of beingness, energy. It's something like in heaven. You completely accept this moment. You are with yourself at every moment, and you start feeling this huge love. You start feeling this huge love. And there was this higher realm energy, you would say. And if you have fulfilled these lower levels, if you have gained this energy, it's really easy for you to start channeling when you're up that hill. And there was when you went up that hill, there was a small portal on the ground. I think a small circle like this. It wasn't big. It was like this. And if you go with a special stick, it starts moving like this when you reach the hole.
Oh
But
yes, yes.
we didn't have this. I just saw it right there. And when you are on that, when you put your hands on it, you feel heat and warm energy coming through you. And this energy,
What did you see? Like when in terms of vision, how did you see that small?
no, you just walk around, and if you feel energy intensely to you, I feel like half of my energy body starts like vibrating differently. And then okay, something's there, and you go closer and you go closer. You feel that you start touching the ground with your feet. You feel that your feet is inside of the energy. The feet really vibrate strongly, and when you start going away, the vibration is getting less and less. So what did I see? Then I started looking what's there, and then you see like you don't see it like physically. There's like a normal grassland. There were a few rocks put there to identify that this is the place. Somebody has come there with these sticks and how. And when you step on this field, you just feel that energy is coming more and more to you. You feel it quite physically. But the energy, the foggy energy around the ascended realm energy was around, and then the being who lived there, you can communicate with him. And this being was I call it consciousness beings. I call it like consciousness beings. They're like not like Enrico, not like the Pleiadians, not like the past dead relatives, not like them. This is a consciousness being. What I mean is that he doesn't have a form anymore, or if he has, it's just shown that you can sense that you're talking with somebody, and they have like they're like completely off any thought forms. They're completely off any ideas of existence. They're like completely in the consciousness, and the more you get closer to consciousness, the more you become more and more united with the universe, and some may say to God, and and yeah, he was a consciousness being. I can talk more about this, but uh, uh, my experience for the portals was that this place, which I was talking about right now, was especially created for these meditation experiences. And there was a one man that found out this place, and he can communicate with this consciousness being. He said that he not he said, but then this person, physical person, especially created this place by law that it's illegal to go there because you cannot dig it up, you cannot do anything because everything is specially made
Oh, I see.
as a spiritual place. And
So that's
also,
why it was illegal for you to go there. Like,
yeah, and
illegal.
then when I meditate, I saw that also Germans or Russians they dig up one of these mountains, and what I saw in the pictures, I didn't understood. Did they dig up that person's who lived there body, which was in this they call it samadhi state, or they dig up just a crystal or a rock from there? I don't know, but then they went away. So that was a place and about this stuff, and it was really interesting. And also there are like portals which I know through channeling that are the Stonehenge. It's
Hmm.
a it's a portal that opens sometimes, and you can just go in and out in dimension, or other beings can come through that portal. Where else? At the moment I don't remember, but I understood that the Stonehenge is one of the classic portals. And then because we channeled about the portals and how you can go to other dimensions and inner Earth civilizations, how they use the portals and the crystals and the rocks to create these portals. And then they said the Stonehenge is a portal, and by the idea is that how the people create these portals, or the earlier civilizations, how did they create these portals? Ancient civilizations, ancient, ancient, whatever,
Ancient.
ancient, yeah. And the Stonehenge is a perfect, this perfect uh, sample of the portals that have been here earlier. But there have been many, many, many other portals.
Yeah. That's
And
really interesting for me to hear the way
actually,
you described it. So
yeah,
go
but
ahead.
actually the rocks themselves, which or maybe some people know about these portals. The rocks themselves actually is a highly huge technology when it comes to like portaling. It's a huge technology when it comes to portaling. So and many people know how to like manipulate this rocks, crystals, energy, making them anti-gravity, making them change forms, and this knowledge has already been there. And just through the channeling, maybe we just receive some glimpses of that information that has been already known.
Yes.
So I can talk more about this, but it depends really on the time that you have.
Well, maybe you can make one of your driving videos about that one.
I
I had a question for you about this.
Yeah, I want to tell another thing is that
Yep.
this summer, in the summer retreat, the camp we had, I had huge and a strong channeling experience. And from that point, my head hurts when I try to rememberize what I was talking about, rememberize what I have channeling. And I don't keep anything in my memory anymore. It's impossible to keep something in my memory right now. So
How interesting.
for me, it's really simple. When you ask something, then I somehow remember it, but not by using my head. and then I can talk about this, and the like memories came back. But normally, I don't even think about it because my head starts to hurt.
Okay. I have heard some people describe such a phenomenon. Uh, it must be very freeing that way.
Phenomenon like head hurts from trying to remember something or too
Yeah,
much information.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, from the energy being too intense or something like that.
yeah, because sometimes after the channelings, and if they were intense channelings, then after them you try to rememberize what we were talking about, what did he said, what did the Enrico, what he was idea about this, and you then try to think about it, and your head just starts to hurt because there is a overwhelming, overdosing energies, and it's like think about it
Yeah,
later, think about it later, maybe tomorrow, maybe after tomorrow. Sometimes after the channeling, you're useful, unuseful. You cannot do anything for like 3 days, and
which
there is.
beings were you channeling at that time that were so intense?
It's not about which beings. It's about. It's really, really much about whether they're in the audience, which is listening, whether there is something of interest to somebody, whether somebody is actually interested in some questions. If not, there is no reason channeling to happen. And sometimes there are some people that, from their true self, they have so many questions and they are so willingly and interested to know answers to their questions. And this is just like blast the channeling instantly open and they just start talking instantly. So it's about it's really about it's not about the okay, I can go into channeling more deeper, but it's still when I enter this channeling there is a question, what do you want to talk about? And they are like uh, something interesting, and it's like, okay, what interesting? uh, and nobody knows any questions. But if there's something that from his being is something, or for his soul is something interesting that he, from his beingness, wants to know something, you don't ask. The beings are here instantly,
Mm,
and the information starts coming, coming, coming. You start talking. Many times when we talk with people, like for example in television or something, we just start talking about the questions and my experiences and so on. And if I get to a point to which I don't know the answers or I have never channeled those questions, instantly the channeling happens. And I was like, okay, we can channel or we can talk it simply. And it's like, no, let's keep talking simply, or okay, let's channel. It just really depends on the necessary. Do the audience have the energy to like? So this is the point where the energy topics come in.
okay. All right. So I was thinking that maybe we could take one or two questions from the audience. So you mentioned that there were some questions that were submitted to your Art of Peace website. Um, I'm not actually able to see those. I've tried to check it, and I'm not able to see any of the questions that are submitted to you. But I did have a question um, from one of my other viewers, a question that was submitted much earlier. She had a question about aura, the human aura.
Yeah,
As you know, there are specific children, like there are like the early indigo children, then there are like crystal children, and there was another type of being called a rainbow child, and
yeah.
they're called. They have an aura that is like a rainbow aura. Can you speak about what is different about the rainbow aura?
Uh, you know, many times also with the being said, I'm just looking at the questions which I had in the YouTube because I remember there were many questions. But about the auras, it's really different. It's really difficult. Also, I believe rainbow aura would be something that the children has a full scale of colors around him that
Yes.
you can see. But I don't see auras like, hey, yeah, you have a, oh, there's a red fog around you, there's a yellow fog around you, or something. What I do is I look at the person, and if he has an intense energy, you can instantly see it. But it's like something with the third eye. It's something like, as we call it, the switched seeing, or
Hmm.
another scene, which you say, and you just see like a fog around him. And then to some people, I see there's a huge tunnel on top of his head, and some people you see like a white energy on top of his head, and some
Mm-hmm.
people you see that the stomach is darker, or some people you see that they're completely yellow. And then I say, you're a complete Enrico worlds. You're completely from Enrico worlds, and those yellow people they tend to be laughing and exciting all the time. And really, the energy just changes your energy, just changes how you express yourself, how you are. For example, blue energy, blue white like energy is really loving, family like people. Yellow energy is really exciting, smiling, and joyful people, laughing people. Uh, Golden energy, there are people like who have this meditative and strongly creative state. And also, I've seen golden aura to people who are extremely rich. Um, what else? The white energy is like I call it the Essassani, the higher realm energy, the white light energy, which is totally total acceptance of everything and all moments right now, right here. And these people are really, really. You love to be next to them. It's like you feel like finally at home. This is the highest energy that I have. I know right now. Crystal, bright, shiny light, like with a huge flashlight, bright. And there are foggy energies like gray energy. And gray energy is one of the energies I would not. It's really most common energy, but it's not the energy I would rather stick to. It's depression, thinking all the time, doubting himself, and the energies are really much. But when the gray energy
Do you
becomes
have to go into a particular state to sense those? So let's say, for example, what is the aura of these flowers?
flowers, no, wait, there's something boiling. Wait. Flowers, no. I'm talking about humans. I don't look at flowers. Flowers or trees or something. When I go to a forest, I like look at one tree. He's silent. I look at another tree. He's silent. Then I went away, and then like I feel something from the back, and I turn around, and there's a old big tree, and he's really talking. He wants to talk. And then I go to him
Mm,
closer. I feel his character, his personality. He loves that birds hang on him on the up branch
branches.
branches. Yes, and I say, okay, show me something I don't know. And then he shows a house. And I'm like, house. And then what I knew is that uh, the house is on that direction, but I don't see it clearly. But he sees it because he's higher than the other.
Taller. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he has a really beautiful energy on top of him when the branches where the birds hang in,
The canopy.
spark, sparkling bright white or something. And then I understood that this is a really beautiful tree. But for example, to some humans, I don't see auras. I don't even feel them because their energy is really low. But when their energy starts, for example, people who start to channel, you can see their energy takes over the all room or all place where the channel is being taken over, and it's like you feel really strongly that being, and even when you go into it, you can start seeing that being who he channels.
That's really
And
interesting.
yeah, this happens to those who have this amplified energy. And you can see them, you can feel them. Maybe some people who have not meditated or don't know what I'm talking about, but others clearly can see it and feel it, and becoming the same as I call it chat room as the being.
So uh, what do you sense about my aura?
About
Is
your
it possible? Is it possible to sense through this
personality.
video?
Uh, I would love to say it when we are not public. The personal information.
Something's bad.
Yeah, I remember which TV show you were talking about. Now I remember. Uh, that was a TV show. Yeah, it wasn't Latvian television. It was. It's like here we have many TV shows. And then he said, "Well, yeah, what can you say about me?" And I was like, I received some images, and I was like, not public. Then, but I told him, well, yeah, you are really interesting. Well, I said many things to him, but then after the video we started recording, I said, you also smoke like some things you shouldn't be smoking. You should. Oh, how do you know this? Yeah, but
Yeah, it would definitely be in the aura.
it's
Mm.
something that you see the person, and then you sense his energy. You feel it on himself, and then you start receiving images and information even more detailed, and then you can tell more about him as a personality. To me, the colors are like my interpretation. It's like I when the channeling started, I instantly understood the meanings of all colors. Not all colors, but the most colors that were more
Mhm.
closer to me.
Mhm.
And when I see they're like, it's not like they're around them, but I see in them or around them also sometimes. Really interesting understood what kind of a person is he, what kind of what his character and so on and so on. And sometimes there are also some images that come through, but it's sometimes it's really difficult to like we are talking right now from your video, from your picture, tell something. Sometimes it's really easy when the person is sitting next to me, and that's why
Mhm.
sometimes I don't like do or talk about this stuff about people from internet. I said, well, it's if you want to get more detailed information, you have to be next to each other. It's a little bit easier because then you feel this energy with your body. I don't know how to understand. But there are people that here in Latvia that they do it simply by looking at a picture. They can tell how many children you have, what's the name of their children, how many family members you have, whether you have this problem, that problem, and
Are you talking about your friend Linda?
yeah, and she's like, wow, she's an example about psychic reading, but when it comes to psyching, I don't think this is my case. I'm not so interested in that stuff. Always when yeah, it's like channeling Enrico, okay, channeling Pleiadians, okay, channeling something interesting, okay. Uh, Other things like, maybe I just create a website or something other, or do nothing. But about you, we can talk afterwards.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Um, so it sounds like when you started channeling in Latvia, it was pretty well accepted amongst that community. Uh, do you do you think that in do you think that Latvians are more open to channeling and channeled information?
I don't know if they're open. I don't even think about whether they're open or not. It's like you find this interesting. Okay, it's interesting because some people they come and go, check out, sniff around, and then they go away. But I don't know. It's like some people are really into it, but many people also which learn channeling they learn, they do it for a year, and they are like, okay, yeah, but it still comes to a point that you need to live your life that you have. You need to do the stuff that you want to do, and then it's like when I say many times, it's like finding like somebody like a child. He has a gift, not a gift. He receives a gift, like a new car from his mother or father, whatever, and then he plays around, plays around, and when he understands what this is, what can you do with it, or how can this help you, then you stay to, then you start using it only when it's necessary for you, or if
Hmm.
it's not for you. So at the beginning, it's like a really exciting thing to receive answers and ask questions and then explore the universe or the other beings. But later on, it gets to a point that you, okay, this is interesting, but there's also interesting to do other interesting things. And yeah, well, this is I see to many people.
Mm, okay. Well, one of the phrases that I remembered from um your channelings, which was originally in Latvian, but then there was a voiceover I think it was one of your friends that did the voiceover, and at
Yeah.
the end of the session, there was a line which was I found really beautiful, and it was, "May your way home be interesting." I thought that was a really lovely message.
Yeah, many times they give these messages related to the information, or related to that moment, or related to those energies that were there. And this is not the only message. May your way home be. Yes, I remember. I think I remember
Yes,
that.
yes. Okay, so was there any particular issue that you wanted to mention as a final message? Otherwise, it's been going on for some time now, and it's probably time to wrap up.
Um, Interesting message. Well,
Any final words?
I would love to do English channeling also, and specifically maybe in present. But like any final words, Hmm, I don't know. Channeling is interesting. Also, I didn't talk anything about uh, the communication with people who have died. And this is also really interesting. These are also really interesting experiences. So maybe next time we can talk about this. But what I watched on YouTube, there are many other people, many other channelers, many other like psychic readers, or these people who have this ability, that they bring through really awesome information. And maybe my point is I love to teach others this process, and talk about my experiences. And,
Yeah, I think the unique thing about your situation is that you have a strong resonance with meditation, and it wasn't really until I listened to your videos that I thought, maybe I should go back to trying meditation, because I was never really able to do it before. Too much, thinking, um,
yeah,
difficult to silence the mind. Um, but I really love listening to Enrico, and I really enjoy the energy that comes through with Enrico. So
yeah,
I guess I am a vibrational match to him, more so than to other channelers necessarily. Yeah, other beings. So it really just depends on whether the audience resonates with that energy, because there are many other channelers, as you've mentioned, many people that channel online on YouTube, but you may simply not be so interested in listening to them. I don't know.
Well, well, about meditation, meditation I think is one of or the only, if you're not born with it, because some children are born with the being energy active, energy amplified. The thing is, how can you tell which one is channeling and doesn't know about it? It's people who start holding hands like this. They're like thinking, hmm. The next thing is that people who are they can sit like this, and then like they're sitting like this, and they're not looking anywhere. And you come to them like, hey, come back, and they're like, oh, what happened? And their concentration can completely fade away, and it's really easy for them to start doing channeling because their mind is not so active. Their brain activity is not so active. The brain activity doesn't take over the energy. Also, it doesn't take over the body, or the channel, you would say. And also, meditation is really important because in peaceful meditation, relaxing meditation, whether it's also a deep sleep, you expand your energy, and the more energy expanded, the more energy sensitive you become, and therefore it's really easy to start picking up new energies from that point.
Oh, I see. Okay. Hmm. Being more sensitive has its advantages and disadvantages, but I will try it out.
You become, for you, I think it will be no problem to start doing channeling because what I feel looking at you is that you are in some kind of a little of a meditative state right now. And the first steps, maybe you feel it sometimes, is that sometimes do you feel your head becoming a little bit dizzy, a little bit like
All the time.
so that's a channeling entering the channeling state. Do you feel it right now?
It's like almost all the time. So
Okay.
the only time I know that like really obviously that it's happening is when I'm driving, and then I get really scared,
Yeah.
because you
So
want to
then
be
you
very
then
focused.
yeah. So this is a normal common thing. So I will classify you if you have some a little step-by-step guided meditation. I believe it will be really easy for you to start doing channeling if you want.
Oh yes, I do one. I have done automatic writing in the past, but
Okay. So
there's been a lot of doubt, a lot of doubt on my part. Is this
yeah, but
just my imagination?
yeah, but you have this sparkling energy. You have this. Many people feel this sparkling energy when they become highly excited about a thing. Oh, this is something really interesting. I want to try this. I want to do this. And sometimes they feel like maybe their stomach, maybe their solar plexus is getting like sometimes feel like something like butterflies, or maybe hands start to like vibrate and then like itchiness and pointiness in their hands. But what this does, the sparkling energy for those who channel, is that they can receive sometimes clear images, like a visual. When you receive a vision like
Hmm.
out of heaven.
Yep.
Do you receive visions like this?
Uh, Sometimes, but usually it's just knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's only very rarely that's visions. It's usually that I suddenly gain some knowledge or some awareness
Yeah.
of something.
Yeah, but if you practice more, this you can start receiving these visions. And many people who have this energy, they are like I'm looking in the screen. Is it me or the around my head there is like a colors or something?
I think it's you.
Okay. But yeah, these people when they start entering this channel, they start receiving many times like a clear information like and some many times with crystal clear like visions, like a picture just pops up. And this is like a common thing for a channeler who has this sparkling energy. And there is also other channelers who have this foggy like energy, and they tend to be more intuitive. They don't have so many visions, but they are more intuitive, and they receive more understanding, like a deep understanding about that topic, but maybe no visions. And then there's the opposite group that receive precise, exact, and even hear what other beings are telling them, like a voice speaking ahead, but not so big understanding about the topic. So it's
Mm.
something like the channeler who has this intuitive ability. He can know visions, but can understand how the computer is made and fully understands it, and then can reproduce it from his understanding. Somebody who is with a sparkling energy, he can easily like see the diagrams, the chip codes, the numbers, and have no understanding what does it mean. So it's like two things. Whether you're on one side, whether you're more on the other side, you can balance this shift to it.
Do you find that you are able to easily connect to AI?
But what do you mean AI? Like artificial intelligence?
Yeah. Because you work with programming and you mentioned computers a bit.
Ah, okay. This is the one part how I learned programming, and it was like I was like sitting and I was like, I want to learn computer programming today, and nothing happened. And then I went to the store, bought tea and some. I believe it was a sandwich or salad, doesn't mind. And then I came back to my room to sit to a computer. I was like eating and drinking tea, and was like, but I have yet not learned channeling, computer programming. And then all of a sudden, I just opened the computer and like a blast tons of information with understanding how programming is done. And I was like, wow. And instantly that night, I started to do programming. The only thing that I didn't knew was that how can you, what kind of a language, the grammar or that stuff. Then maybe after a week or two, I started creating my first website, and that was really one of those experiences from meditation that like shocked me a little bit.
Wow. Okay. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
like I say, I have had many experiences, and yeah, I can talk about many of those. And it would
Yeah.
take maybe days and non-stop talking.
Sounds like I will definitely have to ask you for another interview sometime in the future
Yeah, okay.
about some very specific topics.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay, so that's uh, let's call it for now. So we are here with Matt from Matt and Enrico Channeling. Uh, your website is art/of/peace.info, and there is an English section. So just click on the British flag, and you'll be able to see the English version of everything. Not to be alarmed when you first go there and it's it's something else. Um, yeah, and that's it. Thanks very much for your time, and hope to speak to you again sometime in maybe a few weeks.
It's absolutely no problem.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see. Thank you, everybody, and bye bye.
Bye.